I'm just going to start by saying welcome back to myself because I was the one who was gone.
What was it
but
like without us?
tragic, sad, scary
No.
sometimes.
Where were you before the intros? I am curious where you were. I had no idea.
I was in Italy. I had a friend's wedding over Memorial Day, so I just took a little hop, skip, jump across the pond and spent the week there. It was great. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
They're very
Mike, back to making this about us, though.
oh yeah,
Did
back
she
to you
miss
guys.
us?
Yeah, seriously. Did you find that our Italian counterparts? Mario
I
Louis?
did. I was like Mikhail and Shael. No, I thought about the podcast often. I listened to it as I drifted off to sleep each night. And then the first thing I did when I got home was listen to the episode that I missed. So
And what were your thoughts on said episode?
post it. I have beef with all of you except for Jessica.
What? Why Jessica?
We
Hold
were
on, Mike. We bet. Yeah, Mike and I bet that
No.
you would.
Hold on, wait. Maybe she didn't listen, Shia. Let's not.
No way she listened. She
Let's
must
not-
have had it on 2 times speed when she listened, because she. Yeah, no, Sarah, tell us more.
I am a 1.25 times listener for most
Okay.
podcasts. So when I listen to some, it's like, but I digress. I think I have beef with both of you because you bet that I wouldn't listen to the podcast.
Natasha, I'm going to ask that at this moment you plug
Can
Yes,
you
I want to go back to the scoreboard.
of what was called.
All right, maybe my notes. Maybe I.
Hold on. I want to go to
Inverted my
instant
notes.
replay right now. Can we insert instant replay from that episode?
All right, so wait, you're telling me I have beef with Jess and I'm good with you too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, whatever. Either way,
Hold on, Jessica and Natasha.
I didn't.
I'm not letting
my God,
Natasha off the hook.
there's a traitor among us.
Mike and I
All right,
both
whatever.
said, no, this is important for us. Mike and I both said there is no way you're not going to listen.
I actually really want an instant replay because I did take notes and I really thought I was accurate, but
Okay, hold on
I
a
have
second.
beef
Natasha,
with-
can you pull this up while we talk? Mike, now I'm starting to doubt. Did we say that? All right, so 2 no's. Mike, yes. I'm going to vote with Mike. I think that she will not pass. I think she's going to force herself to listen no matter what to see how it went. And I think she will definitely bring it up. So we will see who is right this time next week.
all right. Well, I did. All right, I take back the beef. Beef retracted. Retracting the beef. I'm cool with you guys.
Mike, you think it's because we're Middle Eastern we just get blamed for things?
No, but you know what?
Hey.
There hasn't been any produce recalls in a while, so her recalling the beef just kind of resets it.
There hasn't been in a while.
No, it's been pretty good. And have you heard anything? The lettuce has been good. The beef, no problems.
I feel like
So
we've got a
Sarah,
good
we
streak
believed in you.
of absolutely jinxing us.
We believed in you. And I said, there is no way you will not listen. I said, in fact, I could, first of all,
Yeah.
what else do you have to do on the plane ride home? What could be more important than listening to the podcast?
Right?
Honestly, we really lucked out. We flew what someone told me was the Spirit Airlines of European travel home, and it was actually wonderful. And it was me, a empty seat, and my husband, so we had a whole row. So I actually got to sleep a little bit, which is crazy for me.
Did you fall
at least.
asleep listening to us talking about you?
Could never fall asleep to this podcast. So interesting, entertaining, exciting. But one other thing from the last podcast that I took a note about, and if I'm wrong about this, then we're just gonna forget I ever said it. Mike, did you follow Shabbat? Did you turn your phone off and take a day with no distractions?
I did not.
Okay. This is not me. I don't want to put the spotlight on you or put you on blast or anything, but I was genuinely curious and We don't talk a lot. I called you earlier. You didn't even answer. So
Well, hold on a
my
second.
phone
Mike, I
sitting
thought you
in the
did
middle
like
of
five.
Northwestern Highway because of you. Just kidding.
I thought you did like 5 minutes or something.
I did. I actually, I mean, if you're going to count all the time that I did, it was about maybe 6 hours and 5 minutes.
Are you including when you were sleeping?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We got to work on how many hours a night you're sleeping. That's
I know, it's
simply
been
not
bad.
enough.
It's been bad.
Yeah. Well, you're busy guy.
Maybe you should get another cleaning lady to your total so you have to clean less.
I don't clean, but I don't see why the cleaning lady, or what the cleaning lady has to do with any of this.
Because then you could sleep more if you weren't having to help with the cleaning. I'm saying
Okay.
you already have a staff of God knows how many helping you out. I was thinking just one more.
And how dare you call my wife a cleaning lady?
I would never. I would absolutely
Oh,
never.
no. All right. You know what? You guys were playing nice. Everything was good, kosher, fun. Some might
That's
say.
when he's being nice. That's when he's being nice. You should see him when he's mean.
I didn't see the problem there.
He does know how to assemble a shop vac, though. So
Yeah.
There's no way.
Wait, we haven't turned it on yet, so don't give me that much credit just yet.
0% chance that thing works. If it's supposed to suck it in that and it's coming in the other, no way if Mike put it together it works.
We'll find out.
all right. As the podcast says, back to business. We took up too much time on me and my misreading of the last podcast. I can't even ask you guys about yourselves, but maybe later. Maybe we'll get to that later on. But we have some interesting topics today, so I want to make sure we get to all of them. So
Let's do it.
Topic number 1, Brooklyn Co-op boycott sparks national response. So members of New York City's Park Slope Food Co-op recently voted to boycott Israeli products, a decision that left some Jewish members feeling unwelcome, obviously, and concerned about rising hostility within the organization. The vote has since sparked a wider response, including the UJA Federation of New York purchasing 20,000 bags of Israeli snack bombas, which are fabulous. If you've never had them, try them, in process of the boycott. As international conflicts increasingly influence local institutions, where is the line between political activism, consumer choice, and creating division within a community? Shia, I'm going to punt this one to you.
This one specifically is pathetic in so many different ways. And then the number one reason is because a lot of people who are, advocating to boycott certain things have no knowledge about what they're boycotting. And ironically, one of the products that they boycotted was an Arab. So in Israel, 20% of the population are Arabs. And this Israeli product is going to potentially shut down a company that is run by an Arab who lives in Israel. So they're actually boycotting the alleged people that they're trying to help. And this kind of circles back to purpose why we're doing this, the purpose, really the purpose behind a lot of what we're doing every single day. And that is people are standing up for things without understanding what they're standing up for. So if you want to boycott something because you feel that they stand for something that's different than your view, all the power to you. You have a right to do that. But get educated before you do so, because in essence, you're hurting the people that you're purporting to help. It just doesn't make any sense. And it just goes to show that a lack of education is such a weakness when it comes to making decisions. Because the person who's getting hurt most by this boycott is an Arab.
Yeah, that's rich. I wonder if they did their research into that. And just from a kind of like a businessman point of view, Shia, like, you always think about how these decisions are going to affect people inside the organization. So it's like a strong statement, especially for what the makeup of that area is, for you to boycott things like that and making people feel unsafe in their community because of that. And I didn't even know it was owned by an Arab Israeli. So I mean, it's comical. I don't mean to like have this like smirk, but it's funny. It's a joke. But I'm a believer in boycotting. That you spend your money where you want to spend your money, right? If you refuse to spend it somewhere, that's fine, right? But I feel like this one's going to backfire if it hasn't already.
Yeah, the other thing is, it drives everybody else to support the same product. So it's like you end up having the opposite effect. And you're a co-op in the first place. So now you're risking alienating, what is it, like 34% of the members voted against it. So, 1/3 of your members stop shopping or stop buying at your co-op. You're not going to survive. Like it's so short-sighted and such a lack of knowledge, and it's not based on reality. And it just goes to show so much of what we do nowadays, or what people do nowadays, is guided by, the latest short video or the latest clip or the latest podcast, without really understanding the depth of the issue. And in my mind, it's a lack of education and something we need to fix.
For sure.
Herein lies the essence of our podcast and why we get together. It's not just to talk silly stuff, but the issues in the news. And I want to follow up on this at a later time and see, like, what was the fallout? Did the Arab company come forward and say, like, you guys are wrong? Like, did it reach far enough for them to realize the impact of their mistakes and their misinformation?
Yeah, that would be a good thing to put out, like, in a few weeks, like, and maybe have it on and let's say, okay, what happened to those companies that were officially boycotted? Did sales skyrocket?
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen, right? I think it's going to draw so much attention to the brand, and you're going to have so many people going out of their way to support it now that it's actually going to benefit the people that they want to boycott.
I'm like 90% sure that you've ordered about 6 pallets of their products. Just because I know how you are. I wouldn't be surprised.
Absolutely. So the minute they got boycotted, I put in orders.
I love Bamba, and you know what? I'm gonna buy some. This is inspiring to me. My daughter loves the little snacks. So
it's funny because Bamba specifically in the Middle East is fed to kids at a very young age, and they have a lot less allergies than we do here. Someone told me that now their doctors are starting to, I don't know if they recommend it or consider recommending it, that kids start young, because Bamba melts in your mouth.
Maybe it'll be prescription going forward.
Yeah, that would be funny if the result of the boycott is it becomes mandatory.
We should make that happen. Talk to your people. I'll talk to my people. You talk to your people. Spread the word.
Mike has people for everything.
Bamba's mandatory.
Yeah. I think we got some Bamba in our pantry here. I know my mom's always buying it and feeding the kids. And to what you said, my youngest, my 9-month-old, that's one of the first foods that I'm trying to teach them, because it melts in their mouth and, they're not going to choke on it. And exposure is the number one way to keep them from having allergies. So that's that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
nicely
absolutely
done.
Absolutely. I was in New York yesterday, and I had a conversation with the guy walking down the street. He has the pin that says "Liberate Palestine." So of course, I stopped him and I said, just on this topic, it was actually, I think it was pretty close to where this co-op is. But anyway, I asked him, like, liberate from what? And he says to me, the occupation. So I said, okay, that sounds like a pretty reasonable goal. Can we discuss the definition of the word occupation? Because we probably agree on how you define it. He said, yeah, when you control the borders to a country. I said, okay. So we agree that if you control the borders, you occupy. He says, yep, we agree. So I take out Google Maps and show him that, Gaza shares a border with Egypt. And he literally told me that. He's like, that's AI. I said, okay, why don't you check on your phone? And he says, well, the Israelis control the phones. I said, okay, you want to go get a paper map, an atlas, a globe? Like what do you want to do here? And it's like having conversation with someone. It was like, we agreed on the definition, and now you're just saying no matter what you see, it's not true. How do you have a rational conversation with someone who just won't believe reality?
It's difficult.
Disappointing.
What do you do? It's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. It's like you have people boycotting something. What was that?
Is it good for you for stopping and talking to them? I just, I'm more of a, you do whatever you got to do. I got enough going on, and to try to convince you otherwise. Some people are very unreasonable.
Shia lives for this stuff, though. That made his day having that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if he's like unreasonable, though, or just, again, it all comes down to a lack of education. I feel like most people are reasonable, and most people, with the right information would make the right choices. Obviously, you have, people who hate on every side. But I think in general, like, the 80% or 90% fall between here, and they just don't know. And like someone like him, like he had no idea. He genuinely believed that I was lying to him when I showed him a map.
That's like very concerning, though. I mean, there's a lot of things that AI has distorted online for people, but a map of the world?
Forget that. Like, read the Bible. Read 2 pages.
Yeah,
Egypt.
there you go.
You want, like, no matter what you believe in, right? Went from Egypt.
But we're not
So-
going to argue that they do control the cell phones, right?
This is, you know what, Shia? The minute you
the
said that, I'm like,
I
the
saw
secrets over
his
here.
face light up. I saw his face light up. If there's a conspiracy out there, Michael's at the forefront.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, also the weather. So why don't you thank me for how nice it's been this week?
It has been really nice. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
But you're also going to get the shit when it gets bad next week.
I'm gonna get it anyway. I might as well take the good times while I have it.
Take them while you have them.
Did any of you guys catch the Northern Lights? We had some visibility here in Michigan.
No, I didn't see it.
I'd
Okay.
love to say I
Supposedly
did.
last night there was supposed to be some visibility. I didn't see them, but I was hoping someone did.
I missed them. But next time, maybe text your besties and, let us know. Look out the
Gotcha.
window.
Gotcha.
You would think we'd get a heads up.
I thought you did.
I made the Northern Lights. What are you talking about?
All right. Moving on.
Back to business.
Back to business. That'll be my cue in for the next topics. Our next topic was sent over as a topic of discussion for today. Assyrian groups reject land distribution plan in Tel Keppe. I hope I'm saying that right. Assyrian groups in Iraq are opposing a proposed land distribution plan in the historic Christian town of Tel Keppe, arguing it could permanently change the area's demographics and further reduce one of the Middle East's oldest indigenous communities. After decades of war, displacement, and declining Christian populations throughout Iraq, what does it take to preserve a community's identity and future? Mike, you want to take this one?
Yeah. Let me help you out with the pronunciation. It's
Yes.
Tel Keppe. Tel is so that's the village that my family's from. Tel Keppe is for basically the village of hill and stones. So Tel, similar to Tel Aviv, I think that also translates. And Keppe is rock or stone or whatever. But yeah, that's the village that my ancestors are from, and our churches are there, and very historic Chaldean Catholic Assyrian town. The first town after you leave the city of Mosul. Mosul is the third largest city in Iraq, or the second. So naturally, people from different religions move in, and especially as Chaldeans at the time were leaving, just kind of people from that village, especially, are more nomadic, like to leave and set roots somewhere else, kind of, and just move kind of wherever the good times are. So, and that's how we ended up here in Michigan. So, not too many Chaldeans or Christians left in that village, but it's still identified as a Christian village. So, church is standing strong. And a lot of the landowners and homeowners are still Chaldeans from that live in America, that own the farmland and the houses and the property and all that stuff. So this whole redistribution of land, it's similar to when people talk about the settlements in Israel, Shia. This is land owned by people that live there, and the government is just deciding, we're gonna just redistribute this, and really is to ethnically cleanse the population there. If it isn't already ethnically cleansed enough. So kind of gets to me at a core, down in my core, but I'm just following this, trying to see like what the fight, what's going to come from it.
So, Mike, educate me a little bit on this, because I don't know that much about it other than very high level. So the idea now is the government wants to step in, take the houses and redistribute it to other people. And was this a village that when ISIS overran, or did they get to this village also? And if yes, why is the church, they didn't destroy the church, or it was rebuilt? Because I know they destroyed all, the Muslims there destroyed all the churches, or many of them.
Yeah. So this is, like I said, the first village. Mosul was the Khalifa of ISIS, right? That's kind of where they planted their flag when they took that over. So the first village that you hit is Tel Keppe. And yeah, of course, they went in there, they drew red ends on every home where Christians live to let their soldiers know that a Nazarene lives here. Nazarene just means someone who follows Jesus Christ. So what the government's doing, they're not taking the houses, they're taking all this farmland and they're parceling it out and giving it to people who don't own it. This is land owned by people that either live here in America or live there and are afraid to go and claim it. So a similar situation when I went to Iraq after our Israel trip. I went to Iraq and I went to this village and I visited it, and the man that was touring me around, he said, "That's your grandma's house right there." And I said, "Oh, like, does she still own it?" He goes, "Yeah, of course, it's still hers." I said, "Oh, what's going on there?" He's like, "Well, some guy lives there, and he basically claimed it. He's a squatter, basically." So I'm like, "Well, can I just go in and say, hey, like, this is my house?" He's like, "Do you want to die?" So it's one of those things where, like, you own it, but do you really own it? Especially as a Christian, a Christian living in America, trying to claim the rights to that land. I think it's a losing fight unless a bigger, force comes to help and kind of come save the day.
So, sir, just going back on one more question on this topic. So when they came, they actually labeled the houses of anyone who believed in Jesus. So the Muslims, ISIS, came in and labeled every house that way.
Yeah. A red spray can. It's the letter N in Arabic, which is kind of like a smiley face with one eyeball. And they circled around it. And you asked about the churches. They, when I went and visited the church, there are 3 churches kind of in one, the way that it's set up in that village. One of the churches, they dug from inside of it, and they turned it into their weapons depot. I got all these pictures on my phone. I'll send them over to Natasha so she can put them up on the screen. The other church had bullet holes all over it. And they took down like the Jesus, the cross and all that stuff. And one of the other churches was already abandoned at the time. So, that was probably just a hideout for them. They didn't really do anything there. And that's when this happened. That's when all the Christians from Mosul ran up to Tel Keppe, like, hey, like, this is bad for us. But then they came up to Tel Keppe and started slaughtering people over there anyway. And then they kept going to all the other villages, which we went through all these villages. The destruction's still there from over 10 years ago. And then you see kind of where they stopped, where the Kurdish army started to fight back, because there's a mountain there. And I don't know if you remember in our trip to Israel, we were talking with General Avivi, and he was telling us about the importance of that mountain we were on. And then I go and find this out. And if ISIS would have taken that mountain, they also take over the Kurdish region, and it would have been a whole different geopolitical landscape today, had they not came in and stopped them from taking over that strategic point.
Why do you think today there are so many people here in America, believers in Jesus, who are now saying, like, hey, we should support the Islamists, when the Islamists historically literally labeled your house with a red N and then slaughtered everybody inside of it? Like, what has happened? We're not talking about 1,000 years ago here, right? We're not talking about that long. Like, this is kind of in our grandparents' lifetime. How did everyone forget so quickly what happens next?
Yeah. And not in our grandparents' lifetime, in our lifetime, my parents' lifetime. They just had a 7-year anniversary of the priest who refused to leave his church. The militants walked in and they said, "You're going to convert to Islam and you're going to stop preaching." And he said, "How can I?" He said, "What is a church without God?" And they killed him right there, in front of all the parishioners. And let his memory be a blessing. But it's barbaric, without saying things to offend anyone, right? Because not everyone's like this. But when someone goes to any extreme in any religion, it ends up being barbaric, and you're going against everything and the whole point of what the teachings are. And why do I think people do this? Because in America, especially, I think we we're just ready for the next clickbait. You know, it means a lot to you at that moment. Then 5 minutes later, something else is important to you. So we have been conditioned to forget how bad it is. And I think that's a problem. And that's why history can repeat itself, because there's no one around to remember what's happening right in front of their eyes.
Yeah, that was going to be my answer also. I want to see if yours was the same. It comes down again to that lack of education. It blows my mind that you have people who are very religious, believe in Jesus, and by the way, same thing for Jews, right? There are Jews also who, supported Mamdani, for example, right? It's like it's hard for me to reconcile those things. Like, do you not know what happened? You're right. It's not that long ago at all, right? It's our parents' generation for some of us, grandparents for others, but it's like, do you not realize what happened yesterday? How do you reconcile those two things? I mean, the red N on the house, it's like literally like, ancient Egypt with the Jews. It was like, Jewish house and non-Jewish house, like no change. It's like history repeats itself over and over and over again.
Yeah. And if I remember clearly, I believe they used lamb's blood or sheep's blood. So
They
the
did.
red, it was more significant
Red,
than
it was there.
than people know. So
Yeah. But it's shocking to me how quickly people forget what happened.
yeah. Yeah.
But that's an interesting topic. So I know, Sarah, you want to go to the next one, but just I got a couple more questions because this is something that's interesting to me personally because
No rush
similar
from my
dilemma.
end.
Well, it's similar, actually very similar to like my grandparents from Germany, right? It's like we go back and they lived in a house and it was their house. And now it's not their house. Someone else lives there. It's like, well, what do you do? Is it, are they squatters? I mean, they've been there now for, close to what, 80, 90, 100 years? Yeah, almost 90 years. So like who owns it? How far back do you go? What happens tomorrow? It's a very tough question. Is it safe for Christians in that village now?
I didn't feel unsafe when I was there. The locals there aren't aggressive people by any means, and the government of Iraq has been making efforts to preserve the Chaldean, Assyrian, and all other minorities who live there, to preserve their cultures and their lands. But this one came as a shock because this was a government initiative to redistribute the land. So I'm not really sure how that's going to be because now when the people have been peaceful, right? But now they're empowered. You never know how that's going to change, and it doesn't take much. You just need a few people with pitchforks, right? To
Yeah.
cause
What's the plan? Redistribute to who? To the people who are there now?
I think similar to, and this is probably just me trying to oversimplify it. Similar to when the United States took Alaska and they incentivized a lot of people to go move there, just to have a population. I think similar to that, just kind of give it to anyone who applies, really.
Well,
it's hard to preserve a community when you start ripping away what's left of it, right?
yeah, and it's not like you left voluntarily, right? You left because they were killing you, and then they take your stuff after you have an opportunity to come back. It's like it's unfair on so many different levels and wrong.
Yeah. But
It's
I'm
hard to
following
put
report, and who knows, all could be well. Hopefully, these groups have a way to move the needle a little bit in our favor.
Well, just to emphasize again how important it is that we talk about this. And thank you, Mike, for sharing that topic and, adding in your personal experience with it. That's really helpful and it's really eye-opening, something I truthfully didn't know a lot about. So we appreciate you sharing.
Thank you.
Our third segment, we're going to take a departure to something else, more in the kind of IT space. So America's AI boom faces a data center bottleneck. Artificial intelligence is driving one of the largest technology booms in modern history. But according to new reports, America's data center construction is falling significantly behind demand. As AI systems require massive amounts of computing power, delays involving power grids, construction permits, infrastructure, all of that's creating major changes for tech companies. So if the United States cannot build enough infrastructure to support AI growth, could it risk falling behind in the global race for technological leadership? Shia, you want to start with this one?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes, for sure. The power of AI is clearly something that is not going away, and it's just continuing to get stronger. Obviously, you need these data centers. I read something interesting that SpaceX, which is I think going public here in a week. I think it's a week away.
Yeah, very soon.
Yeah. Yeah. They're talking about putting the data centers in space because there's so many potential environmental issues. There's so many unknowns with just building large data centers. I guess people are nervous to have them in their backyard, understandably so. And even if they are there, you still need to draw a lot of power. Even after you have the center, you're talking about these data centers using more power than like the whole city next door to them. So we really need access to that energy. I think if falling behind is very, very high risk for us. The power of AI is just mind-boggling and growing every single day. So we need a solution. The space solution to me seems so far-fetched, but then you think about it. Elon's already using reusable rockets, bringing them back down from space. I don't know if you guys tried Starlink. I think we talked about that on a prior episode. Absolutely incredible. I mean, it's unbelievable being in the air and using it. It's like you're sitting at your desk. It's probably even faster than my Wi-Fi here. So I think the future is going to be something outside the box, whatever that is. I don't see these data centers as a long-term solution because they just have to draw so much power that I don't think we have. I don't know what comes next, but we definitely need to have some policy to invest in it.
Yeah, yeah, and just my small-minded outlook on this. We always talk about the cloud, and everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, it's up in the cloud." You always point out, right? In the cloud. So, that cloud is a massive data center that like Shai said requires so much infrastructure. So and I think about when the car was designed, right? It's a great idea, but now you need roads, and now you need traffic, control and all this stuff. So we are so far away. Like, it's so efficient now, but just imagine when the infrastructure actually catches up to where it needs to be, how it's going to be, and how the world's going to be then.
I love your cloud reference. The intangible, magical cloud that holds
By the
all
way,
of our data.
there's no way this guy uses this cloud for anything. He for sure has like a pen and paper and like a safe in his drawer.
Maybe,
No,
but he'll never tell.
the cloud plus private browsing.
No,
There
I
you
hate to
go.
be the bearer of bad news, but the private browsing doesn't help you.
Nothing a VPN can't fix.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news again, but VPN doesn't help.
He basically tells me he tells me to stop being conspiracist for the sole reason that these aren't conspiracies. He's confirming that they're true.
You make it too easy for me not to feed it. I mean, and the thing with Mike, Sarah, is he doesn't just have conspiracies. He'll go back years, and be like, oh, 7 years ago when he bumped into someone else, that was the seed that was planted. And like, you don't even know what he's talking about half the time, but in his mind, it happened. And then like once he starts, it's like an avalanche. It like picks up steam as he goes downhill. And by the time he's done, I'm like, I'm starting to believe this.
See?
It makes sense.
He has to connect all of the dots so you have a full picture. He's doing all of his research. He's doing it the right way, truthfully.
It's like when you haven't heard from someone in 3 or 4 years and you just mention their name just randomly, or you think about it, and then next thing you know, they're calling you.
Because they have your phone tapped, obviously.
It has to be.
Yeah. What else would explain that?
Or
Actually,
we're part of someone's computer program and none of this is real, right? That's the ultimate conspiracy.
That what? I haven't even heard this one.
We're in a simulation?
That we're just all in a simulation, just with our strings getting pulled.
Interesting. But Sarah, one thing.
Sorry, I was going to say some parts of my vacation, but I kept saying this feels like a simulation. Like this can't be real. Like just some of the beauty and things that you'll see overseas, you're just like, there's no way that this is real life. Like someone planted this here and, they're puppeteering it because no way. I
Yeah.
just don't believe it.
Mike, one thing that we didn't mention, the way Mike and I really got to know each other, one thing we didn't mention there, just to drive his conspiracy theories a little deeper, was the way Mike ended up in the seats next to mine, where the Pistons emailed the wrong Mike Kassab.
Oh yeah. Shout out to other Mike Kassab.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Shout
Yeah.
out. This could be you. Wait, do we know the other Mike Kassab? Like, do you know who this person is? I'm sure you've been mistaken. Like, I don't know.
He's local. I know about him just from Google and other people that know him. He's from out east, like Grosse Pointe area.
Okay.
But from what I hear, great guy. So that's good. He's keeping our reputation pristine. There was another situation, I don't know if I ever told you, when I was at Super Bowl 2 years ago in New Orleans, and I was walking to this I think it was a Sports Illustrated club.
Hold on. You said you're at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never gone. What's that like?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. We lost.
You got invited to a party also for the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Which party was this?
But when I went, they said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Mike Kassab," and the girl lost her mind. She was like, "No, that F you're not." I was like, "What?"
Oh.
And she's like, "I know Mike Kassab, and you're not him." And I was like, "Hold on,
listen here, lady."
Yeah. And now it's funny because I'll see her at other like random events here in Michigan, and she'll just like laugh about it every time. She's like, "I can't believe I did that to you. That's so embarrassing. I'm so sorry," every time. But I think it's a great memory.
It is, but I'm back to how many Super Bowls have you been to?
I've gone to 3.
3 Super. Wow.
Yeah.
Sarah, have you ever been?
Never.
Me neither. That must be quite the experience.
I'm pretty sure I invited you to the last one.
Did you?
I was just gonna say, to be fair, Shia, I think you've been invited, and that's
Mike is the.
I'm gonna see seeing Sarah and everything from now on.
Mike invites me to things right after he confirms that I'm gone. He'd be like, "Hey, you're busy on whatever day, right? Yeah, I'm very busy that day. Oh, listen, I have an extra ticket. One of these days, I'm just gonna tell him I'm busy and wait for what comes next because it's so exciting."
But what you have to do then is tell him, "Oh, just kidding, my plans changed," or like, "It's not that serious. I don't have to go. I could stay in town for that."
He never had a ticket.
See him get scared. Well, exactly. I'll have him shaking in his
Not
boots.
for me.
I had a ticket for you.
Did you?
When you said no.
How many tickets does one person get for the Super Bowl?
As many as you like. Really, they're all always up for sale. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of exclusive events, I was invited to, and I'm not sure if this episode will come out before it or not. I was invited to go to the White House for the UFC fight and sit on the East Lawn and watch the fight, like courtside, basically.
Wow.
That I'd like to go to. What day of the week is it?
Oh my God. You've never watched a UFC fight, actually, now that I think of it. Live. It's always on Saturday. And I will not be that weekend.
You're not going?
Oh, no. No, I said I won't be Shabbating.
Oh, okay. So hold on. When was it again? Because I don't recall getting invited to this one.
This is June 14th. I just got the invite yesterday. So
June 14th is...
No, that's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Are they doing the fight on Sunday? I'd have to check over on Saturday.
And by the way, June 14th, I will be on the East Coast.
Okay.
Quick train ride over because I'll be in New York. What time should I be there?
UFC fights start late.
That's perfect.
We'll text off camera.
I'm looking forward to it.
Shaking in his boots. Mike's like, "I gotta go."
I asked for a +1 and they were like, "Stop. This is just you." Background check's already been done.
And you passed?
Yeah, but I'll figure out a way to get Shai in there. Shai is more powerful than we think.
My invite got lost in the mail.
There was another step.
Exactly.
At least he's
Exactly.
honest.
He is honest.
He'll figure it out for his brother, for his bestie. Don't worry about it. I can't wait to see pictures of
But
you
you
guys
see,
there.
we should go. I would love to go.
I'm nervous if I happen to meet the president. I have so many ideas and things that I need him to do. So,
Like, what would be your top 3?
well, what we just talked about earlier, like, hey, you got to stop what's going on in the small Christian village. There's more than enough land over there that they can go and redistribute.
Okay.
I like it.
I know you would want to meet with him, so that's my second one. Like, hey, you got to meet my friend Shia,
Thank you.
and then 3, I invite him on the podcast.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Yes.
I like it. Sarah, what would you ask him? First question.
My first question to our president? Ooh. I'm going to have to think about that one.
Okay.
So many things. That would be really exciting.
If anyone has the connections to do it, it's Mike Kassab.
The other one, right?
Nope. The one.
The East Side one.
The one.
All right, Mike, no pressure, but high stakes.
For sure. For sure.
Get it done. We trust you. Don't embarrass us, okay?
Never.
All right, last topic for today. And this one is here in our home state of Michigan. So Michigan exonerees compensation reform. Michigan currently provides $50,000 for every year a person is wrongfully imprisoned. But some exonerees have been denied compensation because of eligibility requirements and legal hurdles within the state's compensation law. Lawmakers are now considering changes that supporters say would ensure more innocent people can receive compensation after their convictions are overturned. Should someone who has been proven innocent ever face additional barriers to receiving compensation? I know what you're going to say, but I think this is a really important topic to talk about. And I know it's something that's near and dear to our heart through Firefly Advocates and the other work that we do here. So, Shia, Mike, I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Who wants to take it first?
Mike, you run with him, Michael.
Yeah, I'll walk because I know Shia wants to run here. I mean, obviously, 100% they should get compensated. There's no number that you can put on that will make them feel like it was okay, like what they went through was fine, unless the number was predetermined and it's like, hey, you get paid this much if you go spend this much time in prison, right? But my issue with it is, or not my issue with it, like, yes, I agree with it. My problem is that people's lives were still destroyed. And you still have a lot of barriers to living a normal life, because even after all is said and done, you still have a record. It doesn't just erase. And then, you have the public opinion, right? Whether someone believes that you were actually innocent or weren't. So your life is ruined in so many different ways, that this is just a drop in the bucket of what needs to be done. And with that, I'll let Shia take it from here. I know he's going to hit a home run for us.
No, this is something that infuriates me because we're dealing with this in a case right now. And even getting the $50,000 a year has proven to be extremely challenging. In fact, the offer they made was significantly less than that, knowing that the guy that they wrongfully put in a cage for 12 years doesn't have anything, so he has no choice but to accept it. And it's insane to me that that's even an option. He doesn't have a pair of underwear. He doesn't have a sandwich. He literally doesn't know where his next meal is coming from. Of course, he has to take less. And the fact that it's a negotiating tool, say, okay, we can pay less is absurd when the system put him in and he should have never been there. And then to Mike's point, what is the price that you put on something like that? And then how does the price adjust for, hey, your mom died while you were in prison, or your wife left you, or right? What's the price for that? Should that be different than just someone who sat for 12 months and for $50,000 a year to lose a year of your life in a cage and be tortured? And the stories that come out of there are just they're horror stories. I think that there's a larger issue, and it's not just monetary. There needs to be consequences when people knowingly violate the law to put people in prison. That is the only thing that's going to change the system. There's no more immunity for detectives or police officers or prosecutors, anyone involved, for anyone who knowingly did something to break the rules, to put someone in prison. I'm not saying mistakes can't happen, but I guarantee you that the mistakes are going to drop significantly when there are consequences for the people who are making the mistakes. $50,000 is not nearly enough. The fact that it's even a conversation is pathetic and is shameful as a society, that we put someone away, take their whole life away, destroy their life. In all instances, destroy life. You know the amount of therapy these guys have to go through just to reintegrate into society? It's terrifying. I mean, and the loss is immeasurable. There's no monetary compensation that can make up for it. And I think it should be, the whole process should be streamlined. The reward should be astronomical for surviving such a horrific incident. And even that doesn't go far enough, in my opinion.
Well said. I mean, you can't put a price on losing out on all of that time, like watching a child grow up or the loss of a loved one, all of the things that you said. I mean, 50,000 almost seems like I mean, it's something, but it could never be enough, truly. So, and the
So
fact that you get away with giving less and knowing that this person is, hard up and wants something, it doesn't even come
it's
close.
crazy. It's crazy. We have billions of dollars in fraud and waste, and it's like we're negotiating on someone that we put into prison who shouldn't have been there. It's nuts to me. When Dwayne got out of prison, Dwayne Williams, when he came out, so his conviction was overturned, and he was in court, and he had not hugged his mom in 12 years. And his attorney, someone we know well, Todd, asked the prosecutor and the judge, he just wants to hug his mother. Can he give a hug to his mom? While they were debating whether or not to retry him, which they didn't, because there was no evidence to convict him. But it was a new prosecutor on the case. He didn't know the facts. And, they were still debating whether to retry him. And Todd, his attorney, asked the prosecutor, is it okay for him to give a hug to his mom? But because his mom was a potential witness, they said no. And all he wanted to do is, he said, I'll do it in front of the judge. We won't talk. We won't communicate. So understand this. He was in prison for 12 years where his mother was able to visit. They were able to talk. They were able to communicate. They were able to write for 12 years. But now that he is pretrial on a potential charge, even though they just overturned the conviction because of how horrifying his case was, he was not allowed to give his mom a hug.
Horrible.
Doesn't even make sense.
It was Sarah, were you there? Were you in the courtroom when we were there for that? Remember that? It was just, it still like weighs on me, 2.5 years later. Like, I just remember that feeling of, this is so unfair.
So many things.
But look, we're doing everything we can to change it. We have a hearing on the 16th for Josh, and we hope to have him come home soon. Another one who, I mean, the DNA is not his. I don't know how you get more clear.
Yeah.
And how long has Firefly been working on his case now?
Josh is probably around 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah. That's always shocking to me how long it takes. Like, even once you have evidence that there was no evidence, or there was something wrong in the trial, it still takes such a long time.
It's like things get done incorrectly to put them in. Then you have to do everything right to get them out. Then you get, this pushback just to get them out. And then when they get out, now we're debating whether or not to compensate them. Like, at what point is it, we need to do something about this system?
Yeah. Kind of a back to business approach on this. And we're both businessmen. All of us are businesses. If you make a mistake in your business, you are expected to fix it, right? So how come the government doesn't hold themselves to that standard? You need to not just fix it, you got to go above and beyond. So maybe there will be some meaningful change here. And I think with Fireflies, we are certainly making it dent and some noise.
Absolutely.
Thanks to guys like Mike. Mike doesn't give himself enough credit, but he does a lot for people, and behind the scenes, quietly, but he does a lot to help people, and no one knows the amount of good that he does.
You guys are doing all the hard work. My job is easy.
So humble.
He is. He really is. Other than the cleaning lady and the Super Bowl and the UFC thing on the White House lawn. But yes.
Little details, All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for today. I think maybe we should try to have an in-person, all of us together episode at some point. Maybe.
I think
I
that'd
won't
be
hold my
Mike, did you
breath.
hear about the studio we're building?
No, but did we get the mics?
We are building a
Maybe
podcast room.
Nice. Okay.
You know what that means, right? You got to be in person.
Oh, well, yeah. That was good. I thought like we were gonna like have drinks.
Yeah, whatever you
Oh,
want there.
yeah.
Actually, Sarah said we could smoke in there. We could smoke cigars.
I never said that. Nope.
Okay.
I thought she said that.
Thank you, Sarah. That was
No.
really nice of you.
That
I thought it was thoughtful
conversation.
too.
And when we get Snoop Dogg to come, we gotta smoke something else.
I mean, you got to do what
Yes.
you got to do.
That could be smoked. That's less potent.
You won't smell as bad after that. Is that the issue?
Exactly.
Is that
Well,
true?
I think so. I don't think anything compares to like the tobacco and the strength that it has to like cling to your clothes and hair.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, we'll have to try both.
That would be really fun. Okay. Deal.
right.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
It's nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Shout out to Natasha. Shout out to Jessica for holding it down.
Natasha.
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 Have a good week, guys.
Bye, guys.